Welcome back. You're still watching In Touch. Now in studios with me is Mr. Jack, and we'll be talking about a certain movie titled My Jacket. So we're going to go straight into it and find out what that is all about. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you.
How is your afternoon going?
The afternoon is going great. Just a bit busy. I'm getting used to Lusaka.
Okay, so you're not from Lusaka?
Yeah, I'm from Zimbabwe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Is it work related? Obviously.
It's work related. It's actually the My Jacket movie that I'm here for. It's a co-production between Zimbabwe and Zambia. I'm working with my good friend Gift on the movie. Yeah.
So before we get to talk about the jacket, let's talk about you and how long have you been interested in movies?
I've been in the film industry for 10 years now. I've been doing film and television productions. Back home in Zimbabwe, I've had about 5 TV shows that I've been screening on the local broadcasters at BC. I've had films that have gone into film festivals, and I've been doing a lot of documentaries and stuff. It's my passion to be on television and to be making stuff for people to see.
Okay, so that actually just answers my next question. Why the interest?
Well, yeah, the interest is to tell true African stories. It's to tell stories that represent who we are. We are Africans. We are not trying to be Europeans. We're not trying to be Japanese or Chinese. We're Africans, and we need to tell an authentic story. So my being in this industry is to be one of those people who reflects our society, the challenges, the successes of Africa. When you go to the Western world, you see stories about Africa that are not necessarily true. Sometimes they're telling a totally different story to what is happening. So I want to be there to be that type of person who reflects on exactly what's on the ground and the potential that's there and the opportunities that's there, so that people can see that it's not a place to play around.
Okay, wow, that is such a heavy answer.
Yeah.
But let's look at the movie My Jacket.
Okay.
What is that all about?
Well, My Jacket movie, it's a story that was written by my good friend Gift, Kazmic Perry. It's a story about deception, really. We're looking at the fact that a lot of people are trying to be people who they are not. I'll ask you, how many times have you been driving and someone asks you where you are and you've told them that I'm just around the corner.
Okay.
And we're looking at the ripple effects of this deception. We're saying when one deceptive move is said or one small white lie can turn into a grievous situation. It can turn into a big problem. And when you put all these lies together, they create a heavy situation for people. Sometimes they even create a death situation. So people don't realize that when they are creating these deceptive moments, when they're having these small jokes or
little white lies,
it's a big situation at the end of the day. So we are trying to just reflect. So when you watch the movie, you're saying to yourself, wow, I didn't know it was that bad. I thought it was just telling people I was around the corner. And that's the effect of what we're saying. So it's a movie that we've really thought about. When we got the script in Zimbabwe, we started developing it, and really it's looking quite good. It's looking quite good.
But why combine the two countries just to create this particular movie?
That's a very good question. I like that because I feel Zambia and Zimbabwe, it's like a brother and sister country. You find people who are in Zimbabwe who have been there for a long time, but who are actually Zambians. You find people in Zambia who are actually Zimbabweans, but are at home. When I got here 3 days ago, I actually felt at home. I forgot that I'm not.
That you're not back at home.
You see, so we are like very closely intertwined countries. And we want to also reflect that in our movie to say, you know, these are countries that have a good background, have a good history together, and they have hosted events together. Talk about the UN tourism event and all these other things. And we haven't had problems. So we are saying we need people to realize that connectivity. We need people to realize that power that we have, that strong ties. And the movie is just something that is going to depict that. And we feel it's a start of something that's exciting.
Wow, it certainly does sound exciting. I mean, I'm already so taken just by the sound of it.
Yeah.
But what has been some of the challenges that you guys have faced trying to develop this movie?
Well, at first, we've had a lot of people who are just speculative about what we're doing, and they have thought that probably, will it come out? Why should we have 2 countries? That question that you just asked.
Yeah.
Everybody's asking that question. Why?
2 countries making
Why
one
2
movie?
countries? Why? And people, I've noticed that people have a tendency of thinking that things should be done by individuals, or things should be done by one side, or a certain type of people should be doing a certain type of thing. But I believe that for anything to succeed, there is teamwork for anything to succeed, different types of ideas for anything to succeed. If you know your strengths, you have weaknesses as well, you should then team up with people who have certain strengths. So our belief is that by coming together, we are bringing up a stronger force that I could not have achieved alone. Probably I've done so much alone for the past 10 years, but now me coming together with Gift, with creative developers, we are going to come up with something that is even bigger. And from there, this is not the end. We're going to even team up with a lot of other countries and come up with a lot of other ideas. And, just to give an example, that's why we have what is called the United States of America.
Okay.
These are states that came together. So we believe in that with this sort of a project, we are uniting Zambia and Zimbabwe.
Okay, wow. Now, you did mention some of the challenges, but then the auditions and the casting of some of the actors and actresses, how was that process?
Well, it's still ongoing. We can't say right now that we have got the best cast, but we are still putting together what we want to be the best cast for now. But what we have right now is we've got some very good names that are acting. Some Zambian popular faces that are also going to be there, some Zimbabwean high-profile figures. The idea is that we've tried to get people who represent certain cultures and who represent certain identities. With young people, you want someone who reflects the young society, who's cool, and then with the mature people, you want also someone who has that sort of a character feel, and all sorts of. So we've been putting together a cast which we think is very diverse, which is very different, and which is not your usual cast. It's not something that probably you've watched before and you say, "Oh, this looks like that movie," but it's something that's original. And we have a reason why we have done that.
Okay, and how long have you been working on the script for this movie?
I think by now, probably, maybe I lost count, but probably it's about 6 months now. I think so. We've been working on it for a while now. And our targets, we're coming closer to our targets now, but we've really been on it for a long time.
And location, is it going to be in both countries, or is it going to be more in Zambia or more in Zimbabwe?
The idea is that most of the main scenes are going to be done in Zambia, but we've got critical scenes that are also going to be done in Zimbabwe. So we're doing both Zimbabwe and Zambia. And we have got good support from some places and some companies in Zimbabwe which are going to support our locations, especially our locations, so that we also showcase some beautiful scenarios in Zimbabwe and the same in Zambia.
Okay. And what's your particular role in the creation of this movie?
I'm coming on board as the producer, to say this is how we're putting it together, and how we put all our production plans together, and how we put the vision into place. So that's really my role in the film.
Okay, and how has the experience been so far, knowing that you're not just working, on familiar ground, but you're working with Zambia as well?
The experience has been fantastic. I'm having to meet people like you.
Well, thank you.
I didn't know that, when you're in the film industry, you meet a lot of people. And from the day I arrived in Zambia, just for this movie, it's been just, interacting with people at company levels, and interacting with people at media levels, interacting with people, musicians, DJs, all sorts of people. And I've seen an excitement in Zambia, which I appreciate, because the film industry is excited, the film industry is optimistic of something, and it's also expectant. I can see this pregnancy for something that's a wow effect. And I think this movie, among things that probably other movies that have been done, this movie is one of those things that you will love.
And speaking of this movie, we can actually see the trailer to it.
Yeah.
That's actually Starkey's one of the.
So we can see that there's people in this film. Could you tell us who's there?
Well, this particular film was done by Gift.
Okay.
Yeah, the trailer we're seeing now, it was done by Gift.
By Gift, okay.
Yeah.
So this has nothing to do with the current movie?
It has nothing to do with the current movie, but it's just showing you some of the other productions that have been done here before. Yes.
Were you a part of this?
No, I wasn't a part of this. This particular movie, My Jacket, is our first of such a production. It is also a full-length movie. It's a 93-minute movie, so it's a full-length feature film, which we're working on. So I think I'm excited because it's the first time we're getting into bed with people from a different country, and the cultural exchange is what I'm more excited about, because there's a lot of exciting things about the Zambian culture which I have seen from my visits here, and there are also a lot of exciting tiny bits about Zimbabwe, which people, when they see this movie, will be excited about. And that will make you even want to come and see Zimbabwe and come and see some beautiful scenarios.
Wow.
Well. Yeah.
Now, obviously, it must be exciting, but, being, aside from, some of the aspirations and inspirations that you've taken from Zambia, what else would you say you can carry home with you back to Zimbabwe and actually put into production?
What I can take back home with me is that Zambians are very passionate about what they do. They love what they do, and they take it as part of them. For filmmakers who are met here, it's not just a job. It's not just trying to make a living. It's not just to try and break the ice or become popular. People have this misconception that if you're in the film industry, it's about you becoming a superstar and a celebrity and walking the red carpets. That's just the aftermath. The important thing is that when I interacted with some of the actors and all the people involved in the crew, I realized these people are so passionate about telling stories. They're so passionate about showing people who they are and showing people what they want to do and tapping into more of their potential. So it's something that when I go back home, I'm going to try and inculcate in some of our Zimbabwean people to say, look guys, it's not just a matter of doing something, but it's a matter of doing something that you love, that you're passionate about. And I'm sure there are lots of actors, there are a lot of filmmakers, a lot of directors, producers back home in Zimbabwe who are not really in it for the right reason. And also there are also a lot of other people who are actually not doing it but are passionate about it. So we want the right people in the industry. We want the right people passionate about the industry, and we want the right people making more films, because just us two are not the only people that are there. There are a lot more people out there, even watching now, who can be part of this vision. And it's a bigger vision that we just want to spark that fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, with the numerous amount of movies that have come out that, probably do tell similar stories, why should people be so excited? And do you think people are actually going to be willing to watch it?
I think people won't be able to wait for it. There are lots of aspects about this movie that might not be what people have watched before. People have watched, like I said, a lot of westernized African films. African films with people trying to be people, and people trying to put in a lot of aspects. But when you watch this particular film from a cultural perspective, you will see that there are things about your culture probably that you hadn't researched about, and there are interesting bits probably that you had ignored. And when you watch the movie, the way it's going to tell the importance of the type of food, the importance of this type of dressing or a type of ointment or oil, or you see there's so many aspects about just being an African that we're going to put out that are going to make this movie unique. It's really going to be something that shows a deeper aspect of our culture, and the way we're going to tell the story is what's going to make it so interesting, because it's a modern story. It's a story in a city and with things that are happening, but that really depicts a you factor, a me factor, and that really is what's going to be relevant. That's what's going to make everyone want to sit at home and say, when is it tuned in, or want to go to the cinema on the day of the launch. I know that the tickets of the launch are going to sell out before we finish the movie because of this, because as we are going to make it, we're going to bring people on board to just take us through the process of making the film, and they'll see the depth of. So we've put in a lot of aspects that have not been put in other movies before, and we're working hard at it, and we're not stopping there.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming through. On the other side, we should have Gift talk about the same movie, so let's hear what he has to say. We take a break.
Every farmer is excited, but the excitement must not cloud us with the strategy.
We must maintain those facilities. There's those tennis courts up behind Kavalonga Boys School.
It is a very good opportunity, extremely good opportunity.
Follow three married couples on the challenging journey of marriage life today.
I told you that I was going to go and talk to him.
Witness as they cascade through day-to-day issues in a home.
And just where do you think you're going?
Don't miss Shipikisha Club, Tuesdays at 20:30 on QTV. Experience home.
Welcome back. You're still watching In Touch. Now, still talking about the movie My Jacket. In studios with me is Gift Casmic Peary, so we should be getting to see his take and his view on it. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you so much for having me. Good to see you.
How's your afternoon? Oh, good to see you as well.
It's great. You look different. Your hairstyle is different from the one I saw you last one.
Well, it's been a while, and anyway, moving right along. So we understand that you're a filmmaker, but for those who might not know who you are, could you just give us a brief background?
I'm a concept developer by profession, and also I'm a filmmaker. and film is something which is you can't take out of my life. It's on my skin. Remove my skin, you remove. But it's something that I love doing. It's something that that speaks volumes of my life. I communicate in film with my thoughts and the things that I see around. I want to educate people in film, so it's my way of passing a message to the people out there.
And how long have you been so passionate about films?
This is my 7th year into a film production, and it's a process. You just don't become. There's a process you have to go through, and I can tell you, I can testify that it's not easy. It's tough, but then if you know your dream, if you know your passion, you keep on fighting until you reach a certain level. Yeah. And
did you go to school for film production, or was it something that you just learned on your own?
I did. I was trained by an American into theater arts, I think, for a year and 6 months. Quite a great adventure, which a few people know that side of my story. And this is why I'm able to teach even other actors into acting and bring out the best as well. So it's a great experience. I'm loving it. I'm going further with my education in film. I'll be doing my next year. I'll be doing a degree in my film. But I barely talk about this because people, when you talk about such a thing, was honest and whatnot. So I keep it on the low profile.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But we understand that you do also act as well.
Unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately, why? Unfortunately,
yes. I love acting. It's my expertise as well. This year I decided not to feature in any film, but unfortunately it caught up with me, and then I did a feature. There's a movie which I didn't want to speak out, but then of course it's already done. It's called I Can't Remember. It's gonna be launched on the launch. We'll be having a double premiere next month on the 29th. So it's gonna be launched, a trailer and whatnot, and then so I'm getting into more characters, but in my jacket, I have no part whatsoever. I'm on the low profile.
Okay, and why did you choose to be on the low profile with this particular movie?
It's big, and when like you are, there'll be a certain stage where you would want to give someone to take your seat. Not because that you can't do it, but because you want to nurture some other people. You want to experience how other people. Maybe a person can do it better than you. So on this project, I decided, let me lay back and give other people opportunities, to explore. Maybe let's see how they do it. Maybe they can even communicate better than I can do. It's a matter of giving other people a chance.
Okay, so let's talk about My Jacket. Now, this is, I did ask, you've heard me ask a different question to the guy that I had before, and we're talking about My Jacket, and so he gave me his opinions, and now I want yours. Why are you so excited about this particular movie, which is My Jacket?
When you say excited, it's an understatement. I would say I'm overwhelmed, I'm thrilled, I'm inquisitive about this whole situation and the project. One reason is in Zambia, it's in rare cases where filmmakers get to to collaborate with other countries to do a production. I'm sure you can attest to that. When I was talking to Jack, the person you're from having here, we talked a little bit, and then he told me I've done this, and then I said we could work together, and then we got to exchange notes, and that's the power of working online. While as people are doing.
So you guys met online?
Online on Facebook, can you imagine? And it was a great experience. But I'm excited because I know just how much it's gonna make other characters to go to Zimbabwe and film there. The experiencing, meeting new people. I've never eaten food in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
I don't know what kind of food they have. I don't know how.
So you've never been to Zimbabwe?
I was there, but when I was too little. I can't remember exactly that. But then I need to see the food. I need to look at the dressing. I need to see how people communicate. It's gonna be a learning phase, an experience where you tend to appreciate other people's culture. So it's exciting for me because we are learning how other people in Africa are living their lives. Yeah.
And Jack did mention the cultural diversity, which he sounds pretty excited about. Is that something that you're also excited about?
Too much excited. I'll give you an example. We were just discussing with Jack just before we came on the show that we have the natural ceremony that comes. I don't know if is it every year or so, where tourist people come together and experience those. But that is not being expressed in the right way, I would say, in a film perspective. But then we are there now to tell you the visual part, the details of the food that you eat. For example, if you eat sikanda, it will be the first time, obviously, and then we have to tell them this is how it is prepared. And now imagine if you're turning it into film, it's going to be there for a longest period of time. People can watch even after 70 years, they'll still refer to that. So I'm excited because we are selling two countries at the same time, you know, exchanging, but then, you know, telling people to say, we are one and the same. I like the fact that he said, you know, it's like a brother and a sister, and that's a fact. We want to make people understand, to say there's more to Africa than what you think is there in the Western world.
Okay, now we understand that, you know, the biggest challenge when it comes to movies, especially in the Zambian industry, is always funding. Do you feel like logistic-wise it's going to be quite difficult?
I would say it's a bit of a challenge. One reason is this, is because, you know, the corporate world has not seen value in film as they've seen in music. And the reason for that is that we've not done much to, you know, actually push them to see value. And this is why Jack and I came together to say, okay, in case you're thinking it's just a joke, we can actually do this on, you know, on a regional level. So Zambia and Zimbabwe coming together, doing a film, it's opening up the minds of the corporate world to say, this is something which you can invest in. You know, film can get to employ over 250 young people in a year, getting good manners. But then it starts with the right steps and the right things to do. And such projects are the ones that are going to foster change in the film industry.
Okay, so we definitely understand that it's two countries coming together, and Jack represents one country and you represent another. What would you say you have learned from him while working with him?
Actually, it was funny. He sent me a video of an advert he did where there was Oliver Mtukudze and you know the Olivers of this world. I laughed, and then I got to interact with him. Say, how did you even get to to do such kind of stuff? And then he's passionate. That's one thing I love. Even when he was coming here, he was from filming. He just did filming, and then he came here. And then you can imagine, he just film and then you leave.
And you just leave, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then he's leaving not because he's going to do something different from what was filming. He's actually doing something exactly what he left out there. So leaving another country to come here and discuss one or two things in film, to me, we have learned that he's a person that is diversity. Is looking into new opportunities in different countries, and actually we are doing the same. We're looking for more opportunities in Zimbabwe. As much as the world knows that we have got economic crunch in two countries, but then even in the midst of that, there's something positive which we can make as citizens. It's not our duty to complain to the government. So they're not doing this. We need more jobs. We can start by doing something ourselves.
Okay. Yeah. Now, who would you say has a better work ethic? Is it the Zambian side or is it the Zimbabwean side?
I think so far I've represented Zambia in a good way. In a good way.
Of course, you would answer that.
Yeah, but suffice to say that we all have weaknesses in different kind of work areas. As in Zambian side, in terms of film, we have weaknesses. In Zimbabwe, they've got weaknesses, but then our weaknesses are not our focus. We are focusing on our strength. What can we do at that particular time with our strength? And thus, that will drum up more positivity and even strengthen the weakness into becoming the strength. Okay.
Yeah. Now, speaking of the actors and the actresses, Jack did mention that there will be some familiar faces from Zambia. Why have you chosen to go with some of these faces that a lot of people do know?
Well, you see, when you are selling a product, you have to understand what you are packaging first of all, and then you have to also understand what's the target audience and what kind of product you'll be feeding to people. One of the people that I can safely mention is in the project is Amora, and a legend in music. You know him, he's done great stuff, and then he's a person that is able to communicate to the young people, through his music. So he's coming on board, and then when I was talking to him, I said, Gift, I've never acted before. It's like, you're an actor, you just don't know the fact that you're into art. You sing, you write music, you're an actor. You just don't know. So I'm going to sparkle that actor in you and then working it up. And then it's going to be great. And then we are also having Bombshell, finalizing one or two things with her. She's coming on board as well. Imagine bringing those people. These are the people that are going to represent Zambia at all costs. It's not me. In fact, the people are not going to see me or Jack.
They're going to see these faces.
Exactly. In fact, maybe they won't even know us. Even at the premiere, they even bypass us. Like, excuse me, I want to see this person. Yeah. But then also, it's an opportunity, like I said, because the actors who are in it are going to meet actors in Zimbabwe, big actors were there, and public figures like Jack mentioned, and exchanging notes. We're not going to say no. Hamova, don't exchange notes with this person. I mean, that's why we are there. We are trying to create a social life so that we can communicate messages better to the people out there.
Now, amongst the challenges that you have faced, what would you say has been the biggest challenge while, trying to develop this movie, My Jacket?
Funding has always been a challenge in terms of film.
The number one challenge of
that's
everything.
always, for us, I think for the locations we've done well. We've got Silverest Gardens who have come on board. It's a great venture. We have Okavango Foods that will be there to provide catering and all. And then we're looking into more. But then funding, because this is one of the highest budget movies that I think that we've done in Zambia so far, despite the other commercial movies. But then, it's a challenge simply because we want to prove our worth, to the corporate world. And this is, I think, thank you for the platform, because this is where we get to communicate, to say they have to see value. This is a part where we want an actor, the lowest you'd get even a 700 kwacha, just featuring in one or two scenes, and then say, it's worth it. And we're simply saying this to the corporate world to say, when you sponsor such a movie and such a project, it's a guarantee we are changing the mentality in parents to tell the kids to say, film cannot do anything for you. Film does everything. Film can be able to help you speak volume than what you can do in writing. You know what I mean? It's easy to communicate because you have to simplify a whole bunch of stuff into something. And then we want parents to, to start pushing their kids to say, film is a talent, we'll support you. They start taking their children to school for film so that, they take them as a career. It's something which we it's not something that we're just passionate about. It's our lifestyle. We are making a living out of this. We are supporting our families out of this. And this is what we want to communicate to parents. Through the sponsors, you sponsor this, you sponsor the whole lineage of people that are in it. It's going to make a difference in the society. Okay,
now we understand that, the corporates don't really see the value with movies, and we've had a lot of movies that have come out from the Zambian market. What would you say has been sort of the trend that has been set as to be the reason why some of these corporates and, the industry at large doesn't really value the movie industry?
One of the things, number one, is how we tell our stories. I think that should be primary stuff, because even sponsors would want to know, what story are you telling? What's the value? What are you communicating to the people? What message do they carry at the end of the day in their package? Our stories have not been communicated well. Number two is that how we depict certain things in realities. Some movies you can just watch and just say, this is nothing related to reality. It's even if it's not a fictional movie, you can tell that this is wrong, for some reason. But then also an aspect of if you've watched a lot of big movies, even cartoons, you see companies like KFC, companies like Pepsi, they come on board and then advertise. It's because when they look at the script, they look at the storyline, they look at how you guys have segmented all the things and the part of the people that you brought on board, they're able to see value. And also it's an aspect of having some endorsement, government supplemented effort where the government say this is a good project, you can actually support it. Not supporting in funding. We know there's always a process in terms of attending certain funds in the government institutions, but then just the government saying no. We need people to support such projects, and it's going to make a difference.
But what about the actors? Do you think also the actors sort of play a role in why this industry is also undervalued?
Yes, definitely. That's one of the major facts, because actors are not trained. For it's in rare cases where you see in Zambia an actor goes for 6 months studying a script. I've seen actors on set where, you're filming and then they're busy trying to look at a script, and I forgot my lines, and then, you know what I mean? But then, we want them to take it real. This is why when you give you a script, most of the script here, it's maybe 20, 30 pages, but then our script is even more than that now. Imagine we give you a 60-page script. You see, I'm going to go on the part where it's only my part, and then you grab all those parts and then put them, and then you forget that when you're acting, you say the last line for the last scene, you say it in the second scene. You're compromising. So the idea is that actors need to be trained, they need to be built, they need to be branded. They just need school for them to get into it, and this is what they're missing in Zambia.
But we do understand also that, something else that's missing in Zambia is the lack of, schools that actually train some of these actors. So what is an actor to do in such a situation?
I'll tell you what. I mean, we are on social media. people always have bundles every now and then. You can testify.
Yes, I can.
You see that even the world around has evolved. People are doing stuff online. Do you know that you can learn online? And short courses, 6 months, you can learn online. Pay a few notes and then learn. And then I've seen some people that are doing that. They can actually utilize their smartphones to start learning online. You don't need to go to. We know that schools are not really established in Zambia. They are there, one or two, but then it's hard to catch them. But you can learn online. You can even have more educative stuff. They'll send you videos, they'll send you documents, you write a test, and then they have reviews. It's what I do for the course I'm doing, for my online course I'm doing online, and then people are asking, how are you managing smartphone? What to pay?
And everybody has a smartphone.
Exactly. So they can just get to utilize their smartphones and learn online. There are a lot of stuff which are online, a lot of them, and then it's so helpful.
Now you did mention that two of the main characters, Bombshell and Hamova as well. Now these might be in the art industry, but they might not really fully understand what acting is. Are they going to undergo a specific training?
Here's the thing. Like I said, the fact that these guys are into art already. They know the art, they do music videos.
So that is acting. Music videos is acting.
That's acting, that's art. That's the whole idea of art. So the only picture that Jack and I gonna bring into them is that now you can switch that into now just maintaining certain facial expressions for certain things.
Okay.
Communication is about how you do your body language. If I'm not pleased with it, you see that, but then you just training in certain techniques, and then they get to understand. But then these guys are flexible. They're already there. They already understand. So it's just a little of polishing up here and there. But then, of course, just few trainings, maybe a week or so, just for them to get to blend into the characters and then get into filming.
Are there any upcoming actors that are going to be used for this particular film?
Yes. We have, I think, QTV has some. I think we are going to pick 2 from here. We've already talked and we've finalized. And then also we have Dumisani, one of the guys who's doing a film in the local areas. And then we have students that we're going to pick who have not done anything, but, just bring them up into theater arts. So it's a great venture. We are from upcoming and then middle class and then, high class. It's a compact altogether.
And all these are going to be able to interact with some of the actors that are going to be in Zimbabwe as well?
Definitely. One of the first things we are creating is that after we finalize with the funds and everything, these guys are going to do a 1 to 2 days workshop, where we're going to have that socialization platform. These guys will exchange notes, and then they'll get to know each other, learn about certain languages, and then afterwards, because I need to get to know a little bit, even after 1 or 2 hours, I'll be able to blend in with you, and that's the idea. So they're gonna have that moment, and then we're gonna embrace them, and then train them, and then do it together, and then do some activities, and then get them on set.
And for you don't feel like you're missing out on, sort of like maybe the biggest role of your life? Because My Jacket does sound like quite the entertaining movie and educational as well. How does it feel for you to just know that you're going to be behind the scenes?
It hurts. It does hurt a lot. It does. Yeah. I'm sure even Jack was feeling a little bit hurt of some sort. Where
so he's also just going to be behind the scenes.
Exactly. And then it hurts where you're even saying, could have been me, I can do better than that, but then it's a matter of giving other people opportunities. But then, of course, we want to break this news to you that also Jack and I were also representing Zambia and Zimbabwe again. At the same time, we're working on one of the biggest projects, I think, that will be done in 2017. Okay. Another blockbuster. It's about Victoria Falls. And then more to come. There, I think we'll make some exceptions. We're gonna peep into maybe just even putting coffee on the table. It's gonna be great.
As long as you are in front of the camera.
And then I'll make sure I tell them make sure that I'm able to be noticed. Zoom in. Yeah, but we're working on something big, and this is just the start of a great journey between Zambia and Zimbabwe. And then I'm sure as we go forward, we'll be able to look for other countries to come in together. Let's just do something for Africans by Africans. That's our general idea. Okay, now obviously you need multiple producers. Are these also going to be from Zimbabwe and Zambia as well? Definitely. Is it a balance though? It's totally everything. There's no bureaucracy, there's no corruption, there's no whatsoever. Nothing of the sort. What we've done is because we want to balance, like you said, some of the cameramen are going to come from Zambia, some from Zimbabwe. Some of the editors will be from Zimbabwe and Zambia. The casting directors, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and also the makeup. We want to understand these guys are going to work in twos. Zambia, Zimbabwe, Zambia. At each stage, it's because we want these guys to communicate, because we've got more projects coming. So if they don't blend in now, we're going to have a challenge to work forward in terms of other projects. So it's a good venture.
But you do understand that there's two different people coming together, two different cultures coming together. Do you feel like there's maybe going to be a little bit of resistance, in as much as you want everything to be, picture perfect? Do you feel like there's going to be some resistance?
It's a mentality, and that's why we train them before we get them to meet other people. We actually inculcate knowledge to them. Just, this is what the project is all about, and this is what you guys need to do, so that when they are going to meet other people, they know what to say. This is diverse. It's not only about Zimbabwe, it's not only about Zambia, but it's a mixed regional kind of a project. So in fact, it's more exciting, opening up. I want to learn how to speak Shona
and eat the food, obviously.
Exactly. How do what kind of food makes these guys look so healthy? I need to start eating, and then they need to explain. I'll tell them, explain to me in Shona, and then explain in English, and then so that they understand when someone speaks Shona, maybe they're trying to tell me that I'm a food, and then maybe if I don't know, I'll just say yes, thank you. Yes, yeah. When I don't even know what they mean, but then through this, we're gonna teach each other language as well. Linguistics comes in, and then it's gonna be something which you need to look forward to. It's a great venture, and then we are hoping that sponsors come on board at the right time, because our project for starting this project is month end of April, and then through May we do the whole production, and then the first launch will be in Zimbabwe. Should be 31st.
I was actually just about to come to that. I was asking where's the launch going to be, because it's two countries here.
Yeah, we're gonna do the first launch in Zimbabwe, of course. Should be June 31st. And then July we're gonna come in Zambia on the 80th, and then we are hoping now to spread for more. But then be rest assured, this is the movie which is going to Africa Viewers Choice Awards. We are looking for more, 2 countries represented in 1 award. Then we'll speak to Jack, we see which country is going to host. So we say this year, this award will be hosted, will be kept in Zambia for 1 year, and then next year, just
it can go on and on like that.
You know what I mean, yeah. But, there's more to it than we anticipate.
Okay, but one question I didn't ask Jack was how he's finding the food here. Could you maybe answer on his behalf?
He's enjoying it, I think it's one question I even asked, but the issue is, what we mistake our approach in Zambia or in Africa is, when a person maybe from Europe comes, you want to give them fries, you want to give them sushi. I mean, those are more like their lifestyle. Let them eat local food. So he's eating Visashi, Carpenter, and whatnot. If he's going to have some reactions, we'll treat them. We are on a better place, but then he's enjoying. And we love it, the fact that, he traveled all the way from Zimbabwe to come here. Next, in the next few weeks, we'll be going to Zimbabwe as well, because we want to take note of certain places like he has, and then meet few people from there, and then have the great interaction.
But has production begun for the movie My Jacket?
We are starting very soon. We're just finalizing on the script, and one of the things is just finalizing on the sponsors. We've got few people that are coming on board, but then our budget is a little bit more, because we don't want to bring low stuff where at international level they'll laugh at us. No, we want to bring quality, and then if you want to bring quality, you have to invest in. And this is why even our actors are not going to complain of how much they're going to get paid. All of them is going to walk away smiling and feeling,
they'll actually feel like actors and actresses.
In fact, they even start saying, guys, when are you doing the next project? I want to be part of it. We want to add value such that acting should be a career. Someone after filming, they take bread and butter home, they have their own spending, and then they have a little savings at the end of the day. Not where you get the money is just for transport, and the certain logistics, the money ends. It doesn't add value. We want to create opportunities, employment, and also people have the perfect workmanship on this project.
Now, obviously, you have spoken to some of the actors and actresses from both countries, and how have they reacted to this movie that you guys are developing?
It's quite interesting, you know. Everyone is excited, you know. It's like, in fact, the idea is them. They want to like, can't you exchange us, you know?
Mm-hmm.
A team here goes in Zimbabwe, and then for a week, and then this comes in Zambia, you know. And then we're like, no, we're gonna bring this to one table. We're gonna bring this into one sport, and then make sure that you guys have a perfect moment together. So they're all excited and looking forward for more.
So just to estimate, how long will it take to get this film done, ready and dusted, ready for the launch?
30 days is our maximum, but then, you know, production gets, you know, due to some weather and whatnot, but then 30 days is our ultimate. But then I think that's why we put it in June. That's when we'll start the launch, and then more. So April, May, by June, because June is 31st. That's why I put it 31st, so that we have even some humble time.
Some time yet,
yeah, you know, because there's advertisement which will start this April of this movie. We're starting it, but I think it's one thing that most filmmakers miss in terms of advertising their movies, and this is why you find that even Fast 8, which we'll be watching now, was started last year. You know, they said May 17th, May 17th, and then I wonder to myself, these guys, they're wasting money. The movie is next year in May, and then they're starting now. It's building up the hype, you know, making people know about the product, and that's what we're going to be doing as well. Starting April, be advertising the movie. It's coming, and then whatnot. People should be expectant. This is big, more than we anticipate ourselves. It's gonna create a lot of, even at government level, it's going to bring two nations together. So actually, we have people that saw value, and then, you know, even at the government level, they'll start, you know, realizing that they can start investing in film. In America, they have one of the highest budgets in film, and this is what we want the government to start putting in place. You know, they should be having a budget for film, and it starts with projects like this to engage the government and other people.
All right, thank you so much for coming through. It's been quite interesting to have both of your takes on this movie that's coming out. We thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are very welcome.